eyes now on the House this morning, where Kentucky Republican Congressman Thomas Massie could sidetrack what could be a voice vote on the Senate relief bill. Some lawmakers have slammed it for too much wasteful spending, but Speaker Nancy Pelosi insists the bill is focused on fighting coronavirus and its economic fallout.
Understand this about this. It's really important to know this. This is all about the coronavirus. It's not about anything else. It's about the coronavirus.
Chad Pergram is live on Capitol Hill, where passing this bill is getting a little more complicated. Good morning, Chad. Despite the wrangling, is it still expected to go through? Good morning.
It will go through at some point, but the question is when and how. Things are pretty tense here on Capitol Hill. As you say, all eyes are on Thomas Massie, the Republican congressman from northern Kentucky. The issue here is not so much that they have the votes, it's whether or not they could delay a vote or maybe even get into some serious parliamentary wrangling. Here's the issue. They want to have a voice vote later this morning after about 2 hours of debate. What's a voice vote? It's where all in favor shout yay, all opposed nay, and the loudest side wins. They do this all the time on Capitol Hill to pass amendments and bills, not have a formal roll call vote. The concern from a health perspective is whether or not Thomas Massie or some other member might require them to actually conduct that roll call vote where all 430 members or however many are here today would have to file into the chamber. If that's the case, they're going to subdivide the entire House population into groups of about 30 and bring them through in individual groups. In other words, just for an example here, Congresswoman Bonamici from Oregon through Liz Cheney of Wyoming, then Judy Chu of California through John Curtis of Utah. That's how they would do this. But here's the other issue. The Constitution indicates that the House of Representatives and the Senate, they have to have a quorum to conduct business, Article 1, Section 5. And if any member makes a point of order that at least 216 out of the current 430 members of the House aren't there, then they have an issue. We don't know if there's 216 members in Washington today, but they cannot take that vote if they don't have a quorum and if somebody raises a hackle about that. That's a concern. Now, under House Rule 20, Clause 5(1)(c), you could try to do a provisional quorum, but that indicates that you have had some sort of a catastrophic circumstance and you have to, declare a number of seats in the House of Representatives vacant. So that's not going to happen today. So if they don't have 216 members here today, you could see a scenario where this drifts later into the night as members try to rush back into Washington, or maybe tomorrow. And again, if they go to actually having a roll call vote and not a voice vote, where they file those members through the House chamber, that could take 4, 5, 6 hours. And that vote to constitute a quorum could also take just as long. And again, members of Congress are facing these competing interests here, where the Office of the Attending Physician has sent out notice saying, look, don't get on the elevators together, stay in your House offices until it's time to vote, don't congregate in the House chamber. They're really trying to keep as many members out and discourage attendance, frankly, which is very strange here in the House of Representatives. But the reason, Ed, is because the House is so much bigger than the Senate, 330 more members. And a lot of members are very concerned about getting on airplanes and flying back to Washington, D.C. just to make this one vote. Obviously, it's easier if they do the voice vote because of the risks that could pose to other persons in the public. So we don't know how this is going to go down. 2 hours of debate, possibly a voice vote, everybody watching Thomas Massie later today. And again, the bigger issue isn't so much whether the bill will pass, but whether or not they actually have a quorum here in the House of Representatives.
After all that, though, Chad, a lot of people scratching their heads waiting for this aid, wondering why it's taking so long. They want Congress to get going. We showed Steny Hoyer, one of the Democratic leaders on the floor. We'll get back there if the debate gets going. Chad Pergram, we appreciate it.